What's up, everyone? Garage 79R. We're in the shop getting work done. I'm doing 304 stainless duals on the 67 CUDA. I got John and Sarah in the shop. Got to give it a bit of a birthday since our trip to Tail the Dragon. The power steering pump actually was almost fell off the motor. The lower bolt was missing and the upper pivot bolt was almost all the way out. So I've already sorted that, but we're going to go through it. Rear brakes, fluids. Just give it a birthday. See that? That's a C150 from I don't remember what year Echo. 2003. So actually looks like it's in really good shape. It was an Echo that had like a front end accident. I just happened to be looking up transmissions, and pretty much the closest junkyard. I mean, the junkyard is like 10 minutes that way. Had that transmission, and it was the cheapest transmission in the whole lot. Everybody else wanted $400, $500, $600, $700 for a transmission. They only wanted $200. I mean, look at this thing. I'm sure they pressure washed it, but still, it's in fine shape. I mean, they even included the throttle bearing and everything. I half expected them to strip it. So why did I get a C150 from an Echo? Good question. I really don't even have an answer for that yet. But I got it because the price was right. And it's like, it's nice to have another 1NZ transmission laying around. I briefly thought about putting it in Floyd. Just get the gearing down, see how I like it. But I don't know if I really want to get into that. Initially, I got it as a mock-up trans. Because after my full autocross weekend in the Yaris, it's making me reconsider how Earl is set up. So I think I might have the answer for Earl to get it running right again. I want to try to implement that this week and find out for sure. I'm changing some of the wiring, hopefully to eliminate that weird hiccup issue I've been dealing with. So, but I'm just looking to the future. At some point, another car is getting a 1NZ. So I needed another 1NZ trans so I can start doing, so I can mock it up. I might put a 1NZ in Earl. I don't know yet. I'm leaning that way. And I know if something went wrong with my current motor, 100% it's going 1NZ. But nothing really should go wrong with my motor. Now that I've said that, it's going to go wrong. Because it's pretty much the best motor I can have for what I'm doing. It's got the better rods, got the better valve springs, it is properly set up. It's got the ARP bolts. But still, eventually, I think that car will end up being a 1NZ car. And that, for sure, if this still sticks around long enough for me to do something with it, that's getting a 1NZ. So, I just want to touch on my autocross weekend. Yaris. The Yaris did amazing. Did absolutely amazing. I destroyed a lot of faster cars. Faster. Generally, right now, this year, my goal is to always be faster in Type Rs and GR Corollas. And so far, I keep succeeding at that. I've only been beaten by one CTR that was done up a little bit. And I think he was only a half second faster. So, that's just kind of like my kind of personal goal. Like, back when the BRZ FRS first came out, I wanted one, but I couldn't afford one. So I just made sure I was faster than them. So, I would like to have actually, I wouldn't necessarily have a CTR. I'd rather have the SI, personally. I love the way the Civic looks. I love the dash. I would choose one over a GR Corolla. As much as I'm Mr. Toyota, in terms of outright looks and whatnot, I just think the Civic just is nice. Yeah, I mean, if you gave me a GR Corolla, I'm not going to complain. But, I don't know, the Civic just. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not here to debate new cars that I can't buy. So what I did a week before the last points event, I test fitted the big wheels and tires that I got for Earl this year. The 245s on 9-inch wheels on the front and the 205s on 15x8s on the back. And they fit the Yaris, actually disturbingly good. They fit it better than the Tercel. Now, granted, I have less camber in the front, so I didn't have to run a spacer to get the wheel off the strut. So that's nice. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've had this car for 12 years. I know it's a better car. The way it steers and handles and whatnot has always been superior to the Tercels. So it's got. I think the biggest thing is it's got built-in caster. Tercel barely has half to a degree of caster, versus the Yaris has over 4 degrees of caster. So I think a lot of that's right there is why that car drives so much better. But also, I think because the rear has a slightly better, they have a better curve going on with the rear in terms of how the alignment changes during bump. So anyway, test fitted the wheels and tires. They fit good. I even did a test drive. Like, all right, game on. We're running the Yaris. I'm not going to lose sleep and hair and whatever trying to rush to get Earl ready again or figured out. So just like, you know what? Just going to relax. I'll race the Yaris. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. Whatever. I'm tired of just like constant losing my mind trying to get Earl sorted. So I looked up for events. So our main points event was Sunday. So I looked to see if there was anything on Saturday, and Susquehanna region up in Harrisburg had their event on Saturday at the Elmerton lot. And I love the Elmerton lot. It's got a lot of grip. It's like unsealed asphalt or something. So the tires really key into it and really it's a really good lot. It's just kind of small and goofy. So I signed up for that, and I figured I'll use that as a shakedown to get the Yaris figured out with the big wheels and tires and whatnot. Do that. I was in a class by myself. Nobody else ran XB. That's fine. Didn't matter. I wasn't there to compete. But, still trying to be faster than GR Corollas and Civic Type Rs, which I did accomplish on that day. So I think I was like a second faster than GR Corolla that was up there. And it doesn't matter. I don't know the guy's skill level. I don't know the car's prep. I think it had different tires because it had different wheels on it. But other than that, I don't know. Doesn't matter. So got the car sorted, figured out tire pressures, found their happy spot, found the right settings for the suspension. Car did really well, comparatively to everyone else. So Sunday, go down to Waldorf to do the WDCR event, and so I'm already hitting the ground running. I already know how to set the car up, blah blah blah. My main competition, Mike Brown, his car was down, so he was in a borrowed Miata. That's still pretty sorted, but it was on old tires, and I still ended up beating that car by a half a second with the Yaris. And to be honest, I was on point in the Yaris. I mean, everybody's like. I had quite a few people like, holy shit, this car should not be this quick. And it just did extremely well. I was really happy with how I drove, how the car performed. I think I need to dial in just a tiny bit more rear bar. So I think the next event, I'm going to step the rear bar up a notch just to get the car to rotate just a little bit more. But other than that, the car was just awesome. And the Yaris really is very easy to drive right at the limit. I can drive the Tercels fast, but with Earl being the way Earl is right now, it's really hard to have that like full-on confidence to just like full send it. So anyway, lay down some amazing times. Our fastest time of the day was only in like the mid 38s, and that was done by a Porsche GT3. And I was in the mid 41s. So it was a good course because also it wasn't a horsepower course. So a lot of the guys like me with lower horsepower cars, but they can drive the nuts off of them, did really well. So I just want to do a quick little video, just kind of talking about what's going on. I'm currently working on a wiring harness for Earl. I'm trying something different. I'm hoping my issue was maybe a little bit of noise on the ignition circuit. So I'm doing a completely different setup. I'm actually going to make all the ignition wires separate from the harness. I bought a Toyota O2 style plug for the signal wires. And then the power to and the grounds are all going to be completely separate from the rest of the engine harness. I'm just trying to give it best case scenario. I'm gonna have nice, fat, oversized power and grounds. And if this doesn't solve it, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about Earl. Because it's, you know, I made it a point to say, like, I'm not going to try to lose sleep and get frustrated over this car anymore. I'll get to it when I get to it. So this is a year of getting Earl figured out instead of constantly scrambling just to make races and then never really get anything done. So that's what's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.